What's up, and welcome to the Sisterhood Corner. To the newbies, welcome. To those who've been here before, welcome back. It's on to the next letter. Hi, Sisterhood Corner. I'm a 36-year-old, accomplished, career-driven wife who has been married for 10 years. From the very beginning of our marriage, hubby and I agreed to have children right away so we can focus on building for them going forward. We didn't want more than 2 kids, and I was happy with that. We both have demanding careers, but do make time for our family. He and I also do take vacations so we can have that special one-on-one quality time to strengthen our bond. Having a good support structure with the children from both our families, has also helped a great deal. The problem started at the beginning of 2025. His friend, who was best man at our wedding, came to town. He received a job opportunity, and unbeknownst to me, he and hubby had chatted about him staying with us till the probation period was over, after which he would then get his own place. Honestly, I didn't have an issue with that, as I know him and have known him through the years. In fact, he and my best friend did date briefly at some point. Now, my husband's job does take him on business trips frequently, or she says regularly rather, which means I'm alone with the kids. Every evening after work. So the additional adult company was really appreciated. Like I said, hubby's friend and I have always been on good terms. So when he suggested a movie one evening, after the kids had gone to bed, I didn't see anything wrong. What I wasn't ready for is the explicit scenes in the movie. I suppose with that type of movie on, a glass of wine, a handsome man sitting next to me, it was only a matter of time before I ended up in his bed. Hey. Yeah. Yes, I slept with my husband's best friend. And though I regretted it and made it clear it was a mistake, never to be repeated again, we have been having a secret affair ever since. His probation ended and his company offered him a permanent role. He moved out of our home, but our affair continued. I am consumed by guilt every time I look at my husband. On the other end, hubby's best friend has fallen for me and wants to tell my husband, as he feels he cannot share me with him. And as scary as it sounds, I have fallen for my hubby's friend too. This makes me feel like, this man, I take it you mean your husband's friend. This man makes me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. And to be honest, I don't want to let this type of feeling go. What should I do? Would I be making a mistake by following how I feel instead of logic? Please help me. Whew. Okay. I think I need a moment. Oh, my sister, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? Okay, I'm going to start at the top. Yeah, I'm going to start at the top. I'll give you the best advice I know I can, but I think the rest will have to come from the people who would have heard your story. You say you're accomplished, you're career driven, so I take it you and your husband are doing fairly well. So this is more like a beaver cleaver setup, picket fence white, the house white picket fence. It's a good space to be in, pretty much a space that a lot of single mothers will kill to have at the moment, and you have that. So I say that not to judge, but I say that to sort of like have you sit down and take a moment and realize the blessing that is your life, right? Now, this man is your man's best friend, right? And for him, okay, I'll get to him later. Let me start with you. So, you had me worried when you said that you are alone a lot with your husband's business trips, and you then decided you're actually happy with having adult um, company in the house. See, that worried me a lot because I think the fact that that's how you do explain how great it was, the quality time you and your husband spend, and which means the man does more than make up for being away so much on business trips. So at which point did you start feeling lonely about that? Because you never said anything at the beginning of your letter to give an inkling of, listen, I do feel alone because of his business trips. You know what I mean? It's just something that you clearly started thinking about the most once this friend arrived. And that for me is a worry because then, yeah, of course, you do highlight you did date your best friend before, but how did you at, at which point did you then look at him and not just your husband's friend, but as somebody that is adult company while your man is not there? I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. Maybe I'm just a bit skewed there in my thinking. I don't know. Because for me, my husband's friends wouldn't even be friends with me. I mean, if he's there because he needs a place to stay, we're not even going to chill and watch a movie together. I can promise you that. I will tuck my babies in, go and sit in my bedroom. He can watch TV, do whatever. It doesn't matter, and trust and believe, it doesn't matter how friendly, and the fact that he clearly is a close friend, it doesn't matter. There's no way that you should have even been in that situation when you start viewing him as welcome adult company. It shouldn't even have gotten there. But seeing as that it got there and you guys ended up watching the movie. Another thing is, the moment you suggested this movie, as soon as you saw the first explicit scene, you should have stood up, right? And when you then mention the wine and a good looking man, so that then gives me a thing. Okay, I think deep down you've always fancied your husband's friend, or you've always looked at him as, oh, he's good looking. Even though you never entertained it, you clearly remotely found him attractive. That part you gotta, acknowledge and say to self, okay, because once you acknowledge that part alone, it's your way now to how you're gonna now navigate this going forward. I will tell you this for free though. He is gonna tell your husband. And his reasons for telling your husbands, I'm afraid, are, are selfish. And selfish in the sense, I don't even think once he tells your husband he's going to marry you and you're the love of his life, I doubt that very much. I think that he probably has always envied what his friend has. And now that he's had the opportunity, now that he's had the opportunity, you've opened the door for him to destroy this. Trust me, he's going full on. I don't think he's a friend. I think he's a foe when it comes to your husband. And unfortunately, you managed to help him do the one thing he probably always wanted to do. Listen, this could be an innocent love story. Indeed, it could be that he's in love with you and could take you in with the two kids and marry you. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, this whole, and the fact that he's now pressing, like he needs to tell your husband, I think there's more to it. I think he knows, you might not know. You never know. You might never know, because men have their things that they will never discuss with us. But I can promise you now that none of his reasons for wanting you to leave your husband are pure. And if I were you, I would tell my husband before this man tells my husband, and be prepared for whatever aftermath. Now, I don't know what type of husband you have, whether he's a violent type or not. But if he's a violent man, I suggest that you make sure that there is someone, or you tell him in a very safe space. Because, like I said, in these days of GBV, you can't be extra careful. But what you've done, I think you already know. It's not for me to tell you how wrong what you've done is. But I think that there was a lot of underlying issues right leading to this. And maybe you guys were too busy to discuss them, or you guys simply swept everything under the rug. But based on that, look at where you are now. I'm not saying an affair is a good thing, but girl, you could have picked any man to have an affair with, but now you've picked closer to home. And I can promise you, if it's closer to home, it's bound to come out. Somebody who's a stranger who's far away, you could keep that as a secret and take it to the grave. But this type of stuff, mm-mm, mm-mm. It's going to blow up in your face. How it blows up is entirely up to you. I say control the narrative, out with it. Good luck. Hey, my sister.